I'm just going to introduce myself, the thesis, and you and some of your accomplishments, which are a hell of a lot, by the way. I don't didn't get a chance to tell you a little bit of my background. I'm a board advisor, strategic partner, ship advisor, also at Cointelegraph, and I work at deposits.com as a partner. And a little venture that's been happening for the past 4 years, and chief revenue officer there, and just making it easier for people to get their paychecks and divide it onto crypto. Just make it super simple, right? But I can't go without a day without Decentraland popping up on my phone in the morning. Like, there's always something new, something is popping on, pinging off on my phone about Decentraland. So it's excited to see. I'm excited to see all of these waves you guys have made, and to know, quite frankly, I think one of the things when we open the room that some of the pain points that the community may be able to assist. What do you think about that?
For sure. Sounds great.
All right. Whenever you are ready to open the room, please let me know.
All right, so I'm getting my camera ready. But yeah, thanks for reaching out, and I seem to feel like over the last 12 months, this has become more of a regular occurrence than with the interest rising around blockchain, NFTs, and metaverses as a whole. But yeah, it's a super exciting time, and I'm currently I've just had a coffee, so I do apologize in advance.
What time is it in there for you right now?
I've been up since 7:30. I think it's around 9 o'clock now, but yeah, it's super late. Wild West doesn't really sleep, so yeah, so it's not so much what time it is now. It's kind of what time. Yeah,
look at your face. You look like you actually remind me of one of my good friends when I was younger, Sergio. I just seeing your eyes. I'm like, hey, sir, fantastic. Well, room, I have to say thank you. As you can hear, we have a super special, exciting guest for us today. I'm Stephen Chase. I'll be your moderator. And the panel we have right now are the benefits of a decentralized virtual world. And we have great case studies from Decentraland. Adam De Cata is joining us. He is the head of partnerships at Decentraland. And a little know about Adam, his key projects are Sotheby's. We all know what happened there. Coca Cola, Metamask, ConsenSys, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Adam also runs a digital and consulting firm with a strong blockchain, NFTs, and Metaverse expertise. He's specializing in enabling and extending brands' presence and monetizing them in this fast-developing sector. Adam, thank you so much, and we can't wait to see this presentation. You have case studies for Decentraland.
Thanks. Yeah, it's great to be here. So, yeah, welcome to this session. I'm very impressed with this app. I find it intriguing, but I've got to keep myself away from. On my Samsung, there's a button on my bottom right that I keep going to when I'm having a look at who's in the room, and then I end up cancelling it and then getting out of the app again. But outside of that, very impressed. But yeah, it's a super intriguing time. It's really exciting to see things evolve. I think everyone's learning and evolving with the limitations of the technology that we're dealing with, and exploring new and interesting ways to make art and tech sort of merge. So yeah, look, Decentraland.
If you don't mind,
yeah, go for it.
If you don't mind, for the room, would you mind just giving them the elevator of Decentraland, and I would say the elevator of Decentraland for 2022 and on?
Yeah, for sure. Decentraland is a virtual world, a social platform where users come together to connect, watch events, host events, and experience many of the things that you would see in the physical world, but without the council permits, the red line engineering reports, and a whole heap of escapism to follow through. So yeah, it's a world that's run and owned and governed by its community, which makes it a phenomenal human experiment, to say the least.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it means that the community have voting rights for proposals that are being put forward and grants that are being on offer. And
That's one of the most interesting pieces of Decentraland is the community voting on projects. It's taking that bite out of the VC paradigm, right? And I think it's just absolutely fantastic. What is before we get into your presentation, I'll say that for absolutely next, but what is a project that you saw the community vote on that you absolutely, I mean, we're just crossing your fingers, praying that this was going to be the project that gets, that'll come on board and gets funded the correct way?
Probably Blender was the most impressive, which is a 3D modeling tool that's free to the community, the creative community, and the DAO and the foundation have paid. I think we're up to tier 6 grant, so it allows up to $240,000 to be approved.
Great.
And, for an application like Blender that brings a creative community together. For us as Decentraland and the community to vote on it, for us to just donate those type of funds for a 2-year donation.
Is there a need?
It's pretty humbling.
Yeah. Is there a need right now that the audience should perk their ears up a little bit more for, that they should be running over to the grant site and putting in their information in right now?
Yeah, I'll get into it a little later, but it's. I'll definitely get into it a little later, but I do feel like, it's to the power of the people in a way, right? So if you put an application forward and the community like it, and it's going to benefit the project,
that's where you are.
That's what you're left to the voting rights, and however that sort of works out. There's plenty that get passed, and there's others that don't. But you can continue to readjust and refine your grants and get them to a place that might connect. But yeah.
Okay. Let's get to the video then. I'm excited to see these case studies. We're going to learn a little bit more information from the masters.
I think this video is just a little recap from some of the things that we've done over the last year. It doesn't include everything, but I do think it gives an insight to the world, the aesthetic, and what we do. But over the top of this, I might just speak about Decentraland and have a chat about what our ethos is and the origins of the platform itself. But yeah, I think this is sort of like
sir.
Yeah, easy. So 4 years ago, Decentraland sold 90,000 parcels of land. And then at that point, we became a community-owned and managed project, meaning that anyone that owned land had governance and voting rights for proposals and grants from the DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization. At the time of the land sales, the foundation was set up, which is what I work with. And we look after, the engineers and devs, a community team, a marketing growth team, which is where my remit is. Holistically looking at the platform to inspire the community to continue to create great things by providing them great things and tools to do so with. And that might be a builder that can help with someone who owns land to put up some walls and create their own space, to, a wearables builder that allows them to design and build different things, to events like what you just saw before, which was a conference about what is NFTs, and that was a 4-day event. That was pretty fun. But then landowners, can be inspired, or the community can be inspired to build and create around what we do, or independently do their own thing. It's interesting. Like you see here, it's like, this is London Underground. This is one of the first music. I think it was the first music venue in Decentraland, and fast track 2 years from there. We just hosted our first Metaverse festival, which was a 4-day event, 80 musicians, 5 stages, which were evolving. There were so many different things that were happening at that point in time.
Yeah, that was a little insane.
Yeah. It's crazy, like we had Deadmau5 and Paris Hilton and Ferocious join, and Alice in Wonderland, and it is humbling to see like the ecosystem and the support that we get from the community as a whole to do certain things.
And you find the celebrities and the brands are just reaching out to you more. The outreach is almost nil, and these big brands, you're finding that they want to work with you even more. How are you handling that inflow?
Yeah, definitely. I think they're exploring and wanting to understand more about how they can connect with the community that are crypto native and what it means to do so. It's just deemed a new territory, not Decentraland, but the community that we're within. I think crypto entities get it and understand what the potential may be, but more mainstream brands, it's been something that like has taken some time, but we're all evolving and we're all learning together, and I think it's only a matter of time before we see blockchain, like these mainstream entities develop their blockchain teams out and start to make sense of this pretty crazy world. But
okay, I wanted you to finish with your video. I don't want to interrupt your presentation.
So. No. It's a bit of fun to watch. I might just keep this on loops and
right.
Sort of see it.
So my question for you is, how are you looking at the people who are engaged in a more fun and active way to the development? What do you say the ratio is for active engagement, exploration to people on the platform with engagement? And I mean development. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of landowners considering that there's 90,000 parcels of land, but like at the same time there are landowners that own multiple parcels of land. I think a large portion of people are just experiencing the platform, but there is a large community as well that are builders and have built their own ecosystems around it. Like I've personally witnessed, teams of one independent 3D modeler that built one of these, I think, like that now has a team of like 25 3D modelers that are developing across the world, like for different landowners and different briefs. There's ecosystems that are built around it, but those teams there also experience a whole heap of activity and events that are within the platform too. So I think yeah, it's hard to know, but like as a community as a whole, like I think they're ultimately there to experience the platform.
When do you see the huge sale of land and ownership of users? Was the tipping point, or do you see another tipping point really for the company as a whole? With developers coming in and building on top of that land, or is it active engagement? Where do you see the true tipping point for Decentraland, and would you consider that?
I think it's when our retention is a lot higher at this point in time. We're at 18 minutes, and to experience more around the map is only limited by what is available on the map to experience at that point in time. So I look forward to a time where the map is full and there's multiple events competing against each other, and people are doing their thing. They're building their own community sets out of just what they're doing themselves. But yeah, it definitely is getting there. Like our trajectory over the last few months has been crazy in terms of the growth. We're averaging around 60,000 active users per month, not sessions, active users per month, from April, May to maybe around July, and then it sort of went to 80,000, 90, 120, 140, and last month it was over 340,000 active users.
Thanks to the word meta in the world, huh? in everybody's
little,
inbox, the word meta.
yeah, totally little tip to them. Yeah, it's been great to sort of, and then because although we'd sold our land, you know, some 4 years ago, really we went live in February 20, now coming up to our second birthday, which is ironically like what's happening here is our first birthday party. But yeah, and that's a cake in the middle. But yeah, I think, you know, like being, it's daunting when you're live and you're building in real time, whilst, you know, behind closed doors in alpha, expectations are somewhat managed, you know. So I think, yeah, for us it was like, okay, we started, and when, you know, the announcement for Meta was public, I felt like we just had come out of our music festival and we were in a really great spot. The platform has been running amazingly well. We're about to launch our desktop client as well to complement what you can log in with your browser with as well. So there's, yeah, well, you know, like they're a long time, you know, like this is a huge amount of planning. It didn't start overnight to do it. So yeah, I think we're in a really, really great place at the moment. And, you know, we're growing our staff internally, and, you know, obviously the token's doing really well. So yeah, for us, we feel great about what we're doing, and, you know, like we're excited for what the future can bring too.
All right. There are a few questions in the audience, and before we run out of time, I know that this may take a little bit longer, and so I wanted to field a few questions from the audience, if you mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. All right.
Let me invite Catherine.
All right, we're having have somebody come up. All right, we have Catherine. Catherine, hello. How are you?
Hello. I have one question. What's the most promising market the country in the gaming industry for NFTs?
If our audience is indicative of it, and you've got to take it with a grain of salt, because obviously it's recognized to only IP addresses. Digital wallets have no other detail outside of an ETH address. So currently, 50% of our audience is from the United States, closely followed by a few European countries, Germany, the UK, and then some Asian countries too. So yeah, but they're, you know, if we were to say 65,000 of our unique visitors for the month were from America, Spain, Germany would be approximately 10,000 odd of that.
Thank you, Catherine. We have another question from the audience. They're coming up on stage. How are you, Sean?
Hi, Adam.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome to Connect Club. I'm Sean. I'm actually the founder of the NFT Club here. You know, we just had Sebastian in a session before you from the Sandbox. So I'm going to have to bring that up. You're going to have to forgive me. So,
that's okay. So, like, we're friends. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. You know, a bit of a healthy competition, right? So in your opinion, what's the main difference between you two? I mean, you both build on top of Ethereum, blockchain, you know, the parcels. I'm not going to use the word land because we're talking to Decentraland right now, right? So the parcels pretty much sold at the same price. What is it, around 12 to 15 grand. So what's the main difference between you two, apart from the fact that they started it all in February? They just jumped on a bandwagon in November.
No, like, and I can speak openly about this, considering that I run, you know, my agency alongside it, which is how, like I deal with Sebastian and his team and multiple other projects that we work on. I think it's intriguing to consider what is true interoperability of NFTs into virtual spaces, and there's a reason to why I'm with Decentraland. Like it meets an ethos that means a lot to me. So, like when we create NFT projects that are outside of Decentraland and we consider the utility and benefits for a particular holder, Decentraland offers that interoperability, meaning that I could have an NFT, it's an ERC 721 or an 1155, it's in my Metamask, and the second I enter Decentraland, and there could be benefits for me in that world. That may be that my favorite musician's performing at a venue, and because I hold that particular token, I can get it for free, or it's exclusive access. With Sandbox, everything's within the platform itself. So yes, there can be airdrops to particular token holders, but currently it's a closed gate. But with that is only, I think, learning and development. I think it's inevitable that we'll need to open at some point. But for now, for us, Decentraland is open. It's a functioning world. And, like, if you care about decentralization and what that actually means, the servers are owned by the community. So we could, as a foundation, we could walk away tomorrow and the platform could still run. The chat box is completely private and decentralized. So your text and communication between users is private. No data is collected whatsoever unless it's upon sign up of your email, and you've got a choice if you want to receive emails from there on. I can't say the same about the Sandbox.
It's you're referring to the fact that it can be accessed through the web browser, isn't it? You don't
Correct. But you could also go into GitHub and build your own Decentraland if you wanted to. It's going to be a long and exhausting time to do so, but we're an open source platform here. We believe in interoperability. We believe in cross metaverse. We believe in decentralization. It doesn't mean that you're decentralized when you're just on the blockchain. There's a lot more to it than just that.
Well, the second question is a real quick one. Did Paris Hilton behave herself at your party?
What happens in the metaverse stays in the metaverse.
Well done. I love that answer. Okay.
Sean,
Yes,
thank you so much.
yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks.
We have time for one more question from the audience. We have time for one more question from the audience.
Awesome.
Has anyone come to Sean, and we're waiting for a new audience member. Has anyone come to you saying that, hey, we want to make our own Decentraland. Can you guide us and advise us that you can speak of?
There's been definite interest. We thought it's way earlier than we thought it was ever going to happen. But yeah, definitely. There's been interest from different blockchains too. So. Okay. But it's very, very early discussions, to be honest.
Sean, you're joining us again.
Listen, I just want to hear it one more. So, what did you think about this platform, then?
Yeah, I was telling Stephanie, was it Stefania? Yes, Stefania, who was great, by the way. That I thoroughly enjoyed moving around the room, and it's a lot more intuitive than I felt comfortable enough here, knowing my way around that was similar to another platform. But at the same time, I think what you have offered, and the fact that it's not about the couches, it's about the fact that you can interact and there's video and also streaming. I like it. Stefania. I told Stefania that before, so
Sounds like you only seen half of it, but listen, great to have you here. Thanks for the fantastic presentation. Stephen, you're doing a great job. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Adam, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and continued success with Decentraland, with the consulting firm, and all that you do. Audience, thank you so much for attending the Decentralized Virtual World with great studies from Decentraland. And take care.
Bye.